Happy Saturday, guys. What's up? Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt. To follow me across all socials. And the Daily Juice being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com during Steak-Timber. Go there, get 50% off. Site-wide savings during Steak-Timber. Plus, using that code JUICE in the search bar activates the savings and will get you 2 10-ounce Omaha Steak New York strips. Good stuff. Bone in on top of that to grab a hold of those guys. OmahaSteaks.com, promo code JUICE in the search bar. All right. I will say this. I have already cracked a beverage. I'm very happy right now. Weight's been lifted. We had a winning day. The losing streak is over. So we lost on Monday, lost on Tuesday, lost on Wednesday, lost on Thursday, won on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we are down about, I think, like 2.8 units for the week. So Virginia, look, when you're going cold, you just think you're dead. The first 2 drives, 14 points. We were dead. I was dead. I was like, I tweeted it. That's it. Another loss. Losing day, because I knew Army. You watched that first 2 drives for Army. It was like, oh gosh, UTSA can't stop anybody. Watch this, guys. Army, Navy, Air Force. Anyone notice what they're doing? They're scoring a ton. Like, these teams are scoring right now. It's bizarre. Don't know what to make of it, but it's amazing. I mean, Army was awesome offensively last night. Navy was great the night before. So, and Air Force was Air Force. I mean, they crushed. I did not bet the plus 9.5 on Utah State. I'm glad that I dodged that. I wanted to bet it live. By the time I went to go bet it live, it was 16-0 Air Force. And I was like, okay, I'm done not touching that game. So it was an easy punt on that. But baseball came in to make it a 2-1 day. Dodgers win over 7.5. Look, I told you last night, this is just we're betting that game again, okay? Dodgers over 7.5, over again, minus 115. Again, bet it over. I mean, I don't care if it's Kershaw. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, okay? Just bet it. 6-3 final, right, for the Dodgers. 9 runs were scored. Mariners will score a bunch of runs probably tonight off Kershaw. Even if they don't, they'll hit the bullpen, I think, but I'm just taking the over again. So there's your first play. Dodgers over 7.5. Got that last night. Betting that again here tonight. We'll have 4 plays going for tonight, right? 4 plays or no, 5 plays. Yeah, 5 plays going for tonight. So we'll have a bigger card than normal for that reason. But baseball, bam. Dodgers over 7.5, minus 115. I'm not even going to break it down for you, okay? I'm just going to tell you. It's going to be a bet every time the Dodgers are on the road for the rest of the season, regular season. The Dodgers were betting over until the books wise up here with the Dodgers on the road. So doing that here, that's bet number 1. The under was never close. That was a bad bet. Dead wrong. 2-1 day, 0.9, up 0.9 units for the night. So stop the bleeding. Let's see if we can turn things around here, and we're going with 5 plays. As I mentioned, first bet, over 7.5, Dodgers and the Mariners. Same bet as last night, betting it again. Second play, college football. Penn State taking on Illinois. Illinois is bad, okay? I bet Illinois with Kansas. I watched the game. They lost by 11. They were laying 7.5 points. They're laying catching 3.5 points. They lost by 11. They were laying 7.5 to Toledo in the first game. They won by 2. Penn State was at home against West Virginia. They laid 21. They won by 23. Against Delaware at home, they were laying 44. They won by 56. Penn State's on the road. It's their first road game of the year. So you might go, Matt, that's a little bit scary. I don't think so. I don't think Illinois will have any shot at stopping Penn State. Okay, and I'm not sure Illinois scores very much against this Nittany Lions defense. It's an early start time, 12 noon Eastern time kick, 9 a.m. kick on the West Coast. So it's a first game out of the gate. But Penn State's offense is just really good. They're scoring 38 points per game. Illinois is giving up 31 points per game. They're going to give up. You want to bet another game, another angle is Penn State team total over. You can bet that if you like. I think Penn State's going to score a ton against Illinois. 31 points per game given up by the Illini. The Illini are scoring 26.5 points per game. That's not very good given the level of talent they've played. And Penn State's giving up 15 points per game, and they've already taken on, a pretty good team, a pretty good FBS team. Penn State's only giving up 4.4 yards per play. That's 32nd in college football. 3.7 yards per rush. That's 56th in college football. 6 yards per pass play. That's 41st in college football. They are just an unbelievable defense. But offensively, they're going to run the ball. 4.2 yards per rush is 58th best in the country. They pass 11.1 yards per pass play for Penn State because of the play action. That's 4th best. Drew Aller is going to have a big game, I think, here. I'm laying the 14 points. Penn State on the road, minus 14, 1.1 units down on this. If it goes below 14, I love this. 13.5, it would be awesome. I get why the pros took 14.5 just based on principle. I understand that. But they're going to try to play around it and get on both sides of 14. It may drop down to 13.5. I don't know. If it does, I like it even more, but I'm going to lay the 14 points here. I do feel comfortable betting Penn State because I like Penn State a lot. We're on the Penn State team total wins over 9.5. I think they get another one here against Penn State. I don't think this game's against Illinois, rather. I don't think this is close. Penn State minus 14, big win on the road against Illinois. Second play in college football. Iowa is on the road. And by the way, Iowa State on the road at Ohio. The number's 2. I can't bet this because the number's gone, but there's a monster trend against Iowa State on the road where the spread is between +4 and -4. They're 6-20, I believe the number. I think they've lost like 6 straight games doing this. Iowa State, I think, loses outright to Ohio. You want an extra college football bet? Go ahead and jump in on that. I'm going to live bet that game personally. I want to watch and see just what that Iowa State offense looks up against Ohio's defense. I don't know if Ohio scores. The under 42.5 might be a good play too, but I want to watch that game before I'll give me a couple of series. And if Ohio looks like they're hanging, I'll take Ohio money line to beat Iowa State. But speaking of Iowa, let's go to Iowa, not Iowa State, but University of Iowa, and what they're going to do up against a team in Western Michigan that is just overmatched. The team total for Western Michigan is 6.5. The number is 28. Iowa's laying 28 points. 42.5 is the total for this game. I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't know what to make of this. Iowa's at home. They may want to run the score up. You can be like, Matt, look out. They might run the score up here. Iowa, though, I don't know if they're going to. Iowa's 1-1. They covered against Iowa State, winning by 7 last week, laying 3.5. But they won by 10 against Utah State at home. Western Michigan's kind of similar to Utah State. Their defense is okay. Their offense isn't very good. I don't know how many points Iowa's going to score. Like, Iowa may not score 28 points. So I don't want to lay 28 points. I think the under is the best play in this game. Western Michigan so far this year, they scored 35 against St. Francis and 7 against Syracuse. If you score 7 against Syracuse, how many points are you going to score against Iowa? 3? Their offense is bad. Both games for Iowa have gone under by 5.5 and by 2 points. 35 the total for Iowa State. 40. I mean, that game closed at 35. No, I mean, we got it at 42, right? So that game plummeted. Utah State was 43.5. We bet the under in that game too. It's the same thing with the Cyhawk. It's the 3rd straight game I'm betting under Iowa. I'm betting trends. I don't like Iowa's offense. I love Iowa's defense. Don't think Western Michigan's going to score all that much. Hawkeyes are at home. Don't think they run the score up all that much, but they can win 30-3. They won't cover 28.5. They'll cover 28. They'll push on 28. That's what the books are saying, right? 30-3. Why go through that sweat? Just bet the under. 42.5 under, -110 for Iowa and Western Michigan. And the nightcap, the late game. Everyone betting it. 95% of the money. 95% of the bets. By the way, those bet percentages mean nothing. I do not care about bet percentages. That number, that information is garbage. Anyone giving it to you, it's garbage. Throw it away. Don't listen to it. It's complete nonsense. The data is literally out of date the second that someone tells you about it. And, well, it's always a moving target. It's never accurate. The number's never there. So by the time you hear about it, an hour after it's been printed out and regurgitated, numbers move 3 or 4 times. 4 or 5 bets have come in. Doesn't matter. However, everyone is on Colorado. I don't need the bet percentage to tell me that everyone's on Colorado. Everyone's on Colorado team total, over 40.5 points. Everyone's on the over 59. I get all of that, okay? I'm going to be the fly in the ointment. I'm taking Colorado State. I think they got a shot here. I think Jay Norvell knew exactly what he was doing when he poked the bear. I think he wants to make sure his kids are not intimidated by Colorado, by all the attention. Folsom Field's going to be rocking. There's no debating. It's a night game. This is a night game. Colorado's laying 24 points in a rivalry game. Look, they may never stop. And I may look back on this and be like, man, that was a bad bet. But the contrarian in me, I'll make this play every time. This is either a Rams play or a no play. 62.5 the total right now. 59 is what it opened at. I wouldn't mind betting over 59. I can't bet over 62.5, and I'm not betting an under with that Buffalo defense. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. That's asking for trouble to go ahead and jump in on that. So far for Colorado State, they played Washington State. They gave up 50 points to them. They lost 24. They lost 50-24. Okay, in that game, they got worked over. I'm not going to debate this. I'm not sure if Colorado State's defense is going to be able to slow down Colorado. They were catching 8.5 points in that game. They lost by 26. Colorado's 2-0 against the spread, plus 21 points against TCU. They won the game by 3. They were laying 2.5 against Nebraska at home. They won by 22 points. 24 points is a lot of points. Okay? It's a lot of points. If I get 20 points out of CSU, which I think I'm going to, okay, I think we could be okay here. Okay, 20 points. How many points will Colorado score? That's going to be the big question. I don't think they get to 50. Just being honest, I don't think they get to 50. And I think 40 might be their high. Might be their high. I think Colorado's going to take a big step. Colorado State is going to take a big step forward defensively to the point where they can keep it within 24 points. Maybe we get a backdoor on it if Colorado gets out to a big score. But I've been around college football long enough to know that in these rivalry games, you don't throw the records out. But these kids, the Rams hate Colorado right now. Jay Norvell hates what's going on right now. And so this is a way of drawing a line in the sand and saying, we're on this side, you're on that side. Call it a gut play, call it a feel, call it just a contrarian bet. That's what it is. I'm taking the points. You give me 24 points, I don't care who it is. In college football, in a rivalry game, give me the Rams. Plus 24, 1.1 units down on Colorado State on the road at Colorado in Boulder. Okay? So, one baseball bet, over 7.5, Dodgers, Mariners. 3 college football bets, Penn State minus 14, under 42.5, Iowa, Western Michigan, Colorado State plus 24. And 1 bet in mixed martial arts, UFC Noche here in Vegas. It's on a pay-per-view. It's a fight night card. It's on ESPN Plus, so it's not on regular TV. It's a title fight, which is actually kind of remarkable that this is where this fight is. Because, to be honest with you, this is a good card. It's a good fight. And it's Alexa Grasso against Valentina Shevchenko. If you remember back in March, we bet the over in this fight. We bet Valentina in this fight. It's the same handicap. Grasso found a hole in Shevchenko's in Shevchenko's game, and the weakness was exposed. You just pissed off the wrong woman, okay? Valentina Shevchenko is unfreaking believable. And while I will bet her at minus 155 to win this fight on the money line, I think it's an unbelievable price on Valentina. I think the over is the better play, just in case, because it's going to be an all-Mexican crowd. I have seen this in Las Vegas during Mexican Independence Weekend, okay? I have seen this. I've been at multiple Canelo Alvarez fights. Yes, he's won all of them, okay? You can say, Matt, there wasn't really one that he really was, worried about, but Canelo Triple G happened both times here in Vegas during this weekend, and I thought Triple G won the first fight. I thought Triple G won the second fight, okay? When you bring people, Las Vegas can be pretty hospitable to you on the scorecards. And this is going to be an all-Mexican crowd, Mexican card. They're pushing it heavily. They're calling it UFC Noche. It's not fight night. It's UFC evening, noche, evening. Alexa Grasso is 16-3. Valentina is 23-4. 4.5 is the total here for this. I think you can bet this fight goes to the cards if you want at minus 130. You can bet Valentina to win at minus 155. But I think the over 4.5 rounds at minus 150 is the better play. Why? Well, generally speaking, at the flyweight division, when you look at Valentina and the way that she has fought, Valentina has fought a lot of fights that have gone the distance. Jennifer Maia went the distance, 5 rounds. Liz Carmouche went to the distance, went 5 rounds. Against Santos, 5 rounds. Against Murphy, it went 4, almost into 5, where she knocked her out and took care of Lauren Murphy late. But yes, Jessica Andrade, Valentina won that pretty quickly back in April of 2021. I just think she's going to be more cautious because she got caught by Grasso in the last fight. And Grasso can box. I mean, there's no debate. Grasso can throw hands. She's going to be very careful not to get clipped. And if you look at the 5-fight win streak, decision, rear naked choke, decision, rear naked choke for Grasso, okay? When she gets her W's, she's going to try to submit, and she's quote-unquote a submission artist, but I think her boxing is better than people think. So I think Shevchenko is going to stay at distance. I think it's going to be a pretty boring fight. I do think it's going to be a point fight. I'm not going to trust the judges to give it to Valentina officially. I think she'll win it on the money line. If you like Valentina, take the money line. I'll be on it too because it's a really cheap price, I think, on the better fighter. But over 4.5 rounds, I think this fight goes deep. I think this fight probably goes to the scorecards. Minus 150 or minus 130. You can take your pick on this as to what you want to bet. I'll take the potential. I'll take the 2.5 minutes that you'll get from betting the over 4.5 rounds versus betting going to the distance. And maybe there's a late stoppage, or maybe there's something that could get in the way of it. I don't really think so. If we get to the 4th and get to the 5th round and get halfway through, it would be surprising to see the fight end there. But just in case, I'm going to go over 4.5 rounds, Shevchenko versus Grasso in the main event at UFC Noche here in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, at minus 150. It's a little juicy. I totally understand that. If you don't want to, you want to fade that, go right ahead. But I like that fight. It's the same bet that I made with Valentina in the over. The last time these two got going, it was trending directly to hit both of those in March. And then Valentina got cute and did a spinning roundhouse kick that got caught by Grasso. She jumped on the neck and submitted her. It was a brilliant move. But I don't think that mistake happens again for Valentina. So I'm going with the over 4.5 rounds. Shevchenko and Grasso main event at UFC Noche coming up here tonight in Las Vegas. Okay, 5 bets going for us. If we sweep the board, we're doing great. We'll be profitable for the week. Doubt we'll sweep the board, but I do like these bets a lot. Over Dodgers 7.5 against the Mariners. Penn State minus 14 on the road against Illinois. Under 42.5 Iowa hosting Western Michigan. Colorado State plus 24 on the road at Colorado. Over 4.5 rounds, Shevchenko and Grasso at minus 150 for UFC Fight Night here in Las Vegas with UFC Noche. Whew. Let's hopefully have a good Saturday and then head to Sunday. Remember the live stream happening at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time on this very YouTube channel for us every Sunday morning with me and a revolving cast of characters. Come catch bets, prop bets, long teasers, and fun stuff. I went 3-1 on our prop bets last week from that show. See what we do coming up this week here on a Sunday. But for today, my name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on all socials at Sports Talk Matt each and every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.